Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and over the last 30 years, I've worked with hundreds of thousands of men and women who have gone from rags to riches in a single generation. I have worked with people in 55 countries and taught them methods, techniques, and strategies to get themselves out of debt, build a financial fortress, and often become wealthy. And in this program, I'm going to share with you some of the very best ideas learned by hundreds and even thousands of people who have managed to turn their financial lives around, sometimes by doing very simple things in their current situation. It doesn't matter where you are today, because the great rule is, it doesn't matter where you're starting from, all that really matters is where you're going. And by listening to Wealth Building Made Simple, you're going to have so many ideas on how to achieve your financial goals that you won't know where to start, at least for a while. Now, the major difference between those who succeed and those who fail is simple. Successful people in every field are action-oriented, while failures are talk-oriented. People who achieve greatly are those who just do it, while those who accomplish very little spend their lives hoping, wishing, dreaming, and making excuses. By listening to this program, you have stepped forward into the ranks of those few people who make things happen, rather than the majority who continue to wait for things to happen to them. When I was growing up, my family had very little money. My father was not regularly employed, and my mother's work as a nurse was often the only thing that put food on the table for my 3 brothers and me. We were raised on macaroni and cheese, and wore clothes from the Goodwill and the Salvation Army. From the age of 10, I made my own money and paid my own bills working at gardening and odd jobs around the neighborhood. When I was 15, I began searching for the so-called secrets of financial success. Like many young people, my goal was to be a millionaire by the time I was 30. However, when I turned 30, even though I had spurts of success from time to time, I was just as broke as when I was 20. I had not even graduated from high school, and aside from being able to sell, I had no real skills at all. It was about that time that I started to think seriously about my situation and how little progress I had made in the preceding 10 years. Many of my friends were already doing quite well, married, with children, living in nice homes, and making good money, but I was going nowhere financially. My concern drove me into getting really serious about money for the first time. After trying a variety of shortcuts to get rich, I finally settled down and created a real plan for becoming wealthy. And the plan worked. I had countless setbacks and temporary failures, as everyone does, and I learned a lot of hard lessons over the next 7 years, but I came out the other end with a net worth of more than $1 million. And what I have done within reason, you can do as well. My goal in creating this program is to convince you that wherever you are in your financial life today, you too can become wealthy over the course of your working lifetime. If you start soon enough, work hard enough, and do some of the things I recommend, you may even become a millionaire. Thankfully, these methods, techniques, and strategies have worked for me and countless others. There's no reason why you too cannot achieve the American dream, or whatever dream you like, if you're willing to take the time to learn how to attain it. Most millionaires and even billionaires today are first generation. They're self-made. They started with nothing. They earn every penny by applying their talents and abilities to the opportunities that they either discovered or created. It's estimated that someone somewhere becomes a millionaire every 4 minutes. Your goal should be to become one of them. What these self-made millionaires have done, you can do as well. Believe that no one is better than you and no one is smarter than you. Over the years, I've had opportunities to meet with countless millionaires and multimillionaires, and even several billionaires. The remarkable thing about most of them is that they are largely unremarkable. They are invariably honest, hard-working men and women who have taken risks, developed expertise in their chosen fields, and refused to quit when the going got tough, as it always does. The wealthy are not very different from you and me. They have simply used more of their God-given talents and done things in a different way from the majority. The wonderful discovery is this: if you do what other successful, wealthy people do over and over again, you will eventually get the same results. Financial success is not a miracle, nor is it based on luck. It is simply the law of cause and effect in action. If you initiate the causes, you will get the effects. In this program, you will learn how to start wherever you are, even deeply in debt, and achieve financial independence. Having worked with thousands of people all over the world who have become millionaires, I firmly believe that individuals who really want to can become wealthy over the course of their working lifetimes if they do the right things over and over until they get the results they desire. Making money is a basic skill. It takes knowledge and practice to master, but since hundreds of thousands and even millions of men and women have learned how to make money over the years, it's obviously a learnable skill. In fact, if you can drive a car, operate a cell phone, use a computer, or carry out many of the standard tasks that are a part of daily life, you definitely have all the intelligence and ability you need to earn all the money you want. In this program, I'll show you how to achieve financial independence and even get rich in a variety of ways. After that, it's up to you to take action and to keep on taking action until you get the results you desire. There are no real limits except the ones you place on your own imagination. So let's begin with a basic question. If someone with limited abilities can become rich, why is it that so few people become wealthy? Even though we live in the most affluent country in the world, where most people earn and spend a fortune in the course of their working lifetimes, why is it that the majority end up dependent on Social Security, pensions, and relatives when they retire? If a person earning $25,000 per year would just save $2,500 per year, 10% of his income, and invest it carefully to earn a return of 10% compounded over the course of his working lifetime, the years from 21 to age 65, 44 years, it would grow to $1,794,762 through the miracle of compound interest. This means that almost anyone can become rich if they want it badly enough. The question I began to ask was, why is it that people don't become wealthy? In a country like ours, with the opportunities that we have, why is it that so few people retire financially independent? And I eventually found the answers. Here are what I consider to be the 5 reasons why people don't become wealthy. First, at the top of the list, is that it never occurs to them. The average person has grown up in a family where he or she has never met or known anyone who is wealthy. He goes to school and socializes with people who are not wealthy. She works with people who are not wealthy. He has a reference group or a social circle outside of work who are not wealthy. She has no role models who are wealthy. If this has happened to you throughout your formative years up to the age of 20, you can grow up and become a fully mature adult in our society without it ever occurring to you that it's just as possible for you to become wealthy as for anyone else. This is why people who grow up in homes where their parents are wealthy are much more likely to become wealthy as adults than people who grew up in homes where their parents were not wealthy. Wealth achievement is a part of the worldview of children of wealthy parents. Therefore, the first reason why people don't become wealthy is that it never occurs to them that it is possible for them. And of course, if it never occurs to them, then they will never take any of the steps necessary to make it a reality. The second reason that people don't become wealthy is that they never decide to. Even if a person reads a book, attends a seminar, or associates with people who are financially successful, nothing changes until he or she makes a decision to do something different. Even if it occurs to a person that she could become wealthy if she just did certain things in a specific way, if she doesn't decide to take the first step, she ends up staying as she is. If you continue to do what you've always done, you'll continue to get what you've always got. The primary reason for underachievement and failure is that the great majority of people don't decide to be successful. They never make a firm, unequivocal commitment or definite decision that they are going to do whatever they need to become wealthy. They mean to, and they intend to, and they hope to, and they're going to someday. They wish and hope and pray that they will make a lot of money, but they never decide, I'm going to do it. This decision is an essential first step to becoming financially independent. The third reason that people don't become wealthy is procrastination. Procrastination can prevent people from becoming wealthy if it becomes a habit. People always have a good reason not to begin doing what they know they need to do to achieve financial independence. It's always the wrong month, the wrong season, or the wrong year. Business conditions in their industry are no good, or they may be no good. The market isn't right. They may have to take a risk or give up their security. Maybe next year. There always seems to be a reason to put it off. As a result, they keep procrastinating month by month, year by year, until it's too late. Even if it has occurred to a person that he or she can become wealthy, and he's made a decision to change, procrastination will push all his plans into the indefinite future. Procrastination is the thief of time and of life. The fourth reason that people don't become wealthy is what economists refer to as the inability to delay gratification. The great majority of people have an irresistible compulsion to spend every single penny they make and whatever else they can borrow or buy on credit. If you cannot delay gratification and discipline yourself to refrain from spending everything you make, you cannot become wealthy. If you cannot practice frugality as a lifelong habit, it will be impossible for you to achieve financial independence. As W. Clement Stone, founder of Combined Insurance Company of America and one of the richest men in the world at that time, said, "If you cannot save money, the seeds of greatness are not in you." The fifth reason that people retire poor is perhaps as important as, if not more important than all the others. It is lack of time perspective. In a longitudinal study conducted in the 50s and published in the 60s by Harvard called The Unheavenly City, Dr. Edward Banfield of Harvard University studied the reasons for upward socioeconomic mobility in the United States. He wanted to know how you could predict whether an individual or a family was going to move upward one or more socioeconomic groupings and be wealthier in the next generation than they were in this generation. Banfield studied and compared his findings against the most common explanations for economic success in the United States and other countries. Was it education? No. Many people with good educations actually moved down economically. Was it intelligence? No. A lot of very intelligent people were poor and unable to earn a living. Was it being born into the right family? No. Many people born into affluent families did poorly as adults, while many people with poor educations became very successful. Was it being in the right part of the country? Was it being in the right industry? Was it luck? What factors were best at predicting that a person would move up economically over the years? All Banfield's research brought him to a single factor that he concluded was more accurate than any other in predicting success in our economy: time perspective, defined as the amount of time that you take into consideration when planning your day-to-day activities and when making important decisions in your life. Time perspective referred to how far you projected into the future when you decided what you were going to do or not do in the present. An example of a long time perspective is the common habit of upper-class families in England to register their children at Oxford or Cambridge as soon as the children are born, even though the youngsters will not be attending for 18 or 19 years. This long-term thinking is what causes parents to open savings accounts for their young children to assure that they'll be able to attend good colleges when they graduate from high school. Saving and planning for the future is long-time perspective in action. The young couple who begins putting $50 a month aside in an education fund so that their newborn child can go to the college or university of his or her choice is a couple with long-time perspective. They are willing to sacrifice in the short term to assure better results and outcomes in the long term. People with long-time perspectives almost invariably move up economically in the course of their lifetimes. A person who graduates from high school, goes on to university, attends medical school, earns an MD degree, perseveres through internship and residency, and then, after 10 or more years of training, becomes a licensed physician, has a long-time perspective. He or she has earned the right, through years of sacrifice and delayed gratification, to prestige, status, and a high standard of living. That 10 to 12 years of work and study is an investment in his career for the rest of his life. His long-time perspective, or hers, will also assure a higher standard of living for their children, as well as better schools and more opportunities for them. His children will very likely marry better, have higher social and economic aspirations, and live better lives. The time perspective of a doctor investing 10 or more years in education at the beginning of his career may be the lifetimes of 1 or 2 generations, 50 or 70 years. We intuitively sense that a doctor, someone who has dedicated so many years to learn his craft so that he can attend to us and our families when he is most needed, is a person who has earned our respect and esteem. This appreciation for long-term thinking may be why the family doctor is usually at the top when surveys of the most respected people in society are compiled. Time perspective is an essential measure of social class. A wealthy family or a good education will help, but ultimately your level of status and prestige will be determined by how far you think and plan into the future as you go about your day-to-day work and life. If an immigrant couple comes to the United States with nothing and goes on to work at menial jobs, sacrificing so that their children can go to school and maybe attend university, that immigrant couple is demonstrating class, no matter how well or how poorly they're doing in the present. They are virtually guaranteeing upward social mobility for themselves and especially for their children. The opposite of a long-time perspective is no time perspective at all. The average professional person has a time perspective of 10, 15, or 20 years, perhaps longer. The average laborer has a time perspective of about 2 pay periods. The derelict, the hopeless drug addict, or the alcoholic at the bottom of the social pyramid has a time perspective of hours or even minutes. He does not think about the future at all, only the next drink or shot. Each person's position and direction in life, from the top to the bottom of society, are determined by the length of their time perspective. The very act of lengthening your time perspective, of thinking far into the future, changes your attitude and your personality. You begin the process of getting rich your own way by thinking ahead 10 or 20 years. As you do, you become more capable of setting bigger, longer-term goals and making long-term plans for their accomplishment. You become more thoughtful about your decisions and more sensitive to the long-term consequences of the ways that you invest your time or money. You develop greater patience and perseverance. You actually become a better and more positive person. From this day forward, practice lengthening your time perspective. Begin to see that everything you are doing today is part of a long process that is moving you inexorably toward becoming financially independent, if not rich, over the course of your career. This is the mindset of people who move continually upward and onward throughout their lives. Many people begin work or start careers, and it never occurs to them that they may be doing the same job for 20 or 25 years. It doesn't occur to them that they should invest any amount of time, money, and energy to learn how to do their jobs very, very well. In fact, recent research shows that 80% of the population works hard in the first year of a new job to master the job, and then they never get any better. 10 or 20 years later, they are no better in terms of results and performance than they were at the end of their first year. And these people have no future. You should be prepared to make any sacrifice to excel at what you do. This enables you to earn the very most that is possible to earn in that field. Even if it takes years of hard work to get to the top, with a long-time perspective, you will persevere. You will realize that the time is going to pass anyway. The only question is, how much will you be earning 5 years from today? If you're really serious about becoming wealthy, there are 5 primary ways that fortunes are made. The number one road to riches, at the head of the list and on the top of the hit parade throughout U.S. history, is entrepreneurship, starting and building a successful business. Entrepreneurship includes every kind of business, from farming and trucking to real estate and computers. 74% of self-made millionaires in the United States, going back 200 years, came from self-owned businesses. An individual starts with an idea for a product or service, turns it into a business, builds it up from the ground floor, and as a result becomes wealthy. Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, John Jacob Astor, Cornelius Vanderbilt, Ross Perot, Sam Walton, Bill Gates, Michael Dell, and Larry Ellison, of course, Warren Buffett, are all people who started with little or nothing and built their own successful businesses. And there are millions of others. The second way to become rich is as a well-paid executive of a successful company, or as an employee of a company that awards stock options that become valuable. 10% of self-made millionaires in the United States are men or women who have joined companies, large or small, or companies that became large, and worked for those companies for many years. They usually worked hard, were promoted and paid well, earned stock options, bonuses, and profit sharing, and as a result of holding on to that money became millionaires and multimillionaires. Paul Allen started Microsoft with Bill Gates, sold out when he became ill, took much of his share of the company in stock, and is now a multi-billionaire. The Seattle area is famous for having so many Microsoft millionaires, people who went to work for Microsoft in the 70s and 80s, sometimes as secretaries and programmers, received stock options, and became wealthy when they exercised them. Many senior executives received bonuses and profit sharing worth many $1 million in a single year. Working for a large company that grows, pays well, and shares its profits is a major source of wealth. Many executives have stayed with their corporations for many years, have risen to positions of seniority, are paid extremely well, are given stock options, profit sharing, and bonuses, and as a result of holding on to the money, they become millionaires. Not so long ago, Lee Iacocca, the chairman of Chrysler Corporation, was paid $26.7 million for 1 year. Michael Eisner of Disney earned a $150 million bonus. It's not too hard to become a self-made millionaire if you're making that kind of money in a year. The third source of self-made millionaires consists of professional people, doctors, dentists, lawyers, architects, engineers, and others with advanced degrees who can charge high fees for their services. These people earn their degrees, dedicate themselves to becoming very good at what they do, rise to the top of their professions, earn high incomes, and then hold on to the money. 10% of self-made millionaires in the United States fall into this category. The fourth important source of self-made millionaires is salespeople and sales consultants. 5% of self-made millionaires in the United States are men and women who are experts and at the top of their fields in selling. They never started their own business. Few of them went to college or earned professional degrees. Instead, they became very good at selling a product or service and were paid well for doing it. In addition, they managed their money well, invested it intelligently, and made it grow until they were millionaires or better. So, fully 99% of self-made millionaires in America came from these 4 categories. First, self-owned businesses, 74%. Second, senior executive positions, 10%. Third, doctors, lawyers, and other professionals, 10%. And number 4, salespeople and sales consultants, 5%, making a total of 99%. The final 1% of self-made millionaires includes all the people who have made their money in the stock market, with inventions, in show business, through the authorship of books and songs, as lottery winners, and all other sources. Unfortunately, because this group gets so much publicity, many people think that they are typical of the people who get rich. The fact is that they are quite rare. In this program, we'll concentrate on teaching you how to become a money magnet and how to achieve financial independence by starting your own business, investing intelligently, getting onto the fast track in your current job, moving to the top of your field, and a combination of 2 or more of these. You'll learn how to spot opportunities and how to get started. You'll learn how to get the money you need, how to maximize your talents and abilities, and how to gain the knowledge you need in order to succeed financially in whatever field you choose. So let's start off with the very best definition of wealth. Wealth is cash flow from other sources. You may earn a lot of money, but you are wealthy only when your money works for you. To become wealthy, your job is to acquire money and then put it to work making more money. The key to wealth building is simple. It is called adding value. Successful people are those who find ways to add value in some way to a person or business or to a product or service. Here's an example of adding value. Domino's Pizza. Domino's added value to pizza by rapid delivery, and as a result created a multi-million-dollar success story. Delivering something faster increases the perceived value of the product and lowers the price sensitivity of the customer. You can add value by buying something in one place at one price and making it available in another place at a higher price. For example, buying a product manufactured in Hong Kong, Taiwan, Japan, or Germany, importing it and selling it for a higher price in the United States is a way of adding value. All importation and distribution is based on this principle. You can add value with services. You can perform a service that enhances the life or work of another person, or that enables a person to achieve a goal faster, more easily, more cheaply, or more conveniently. This is another way to add value. A dentist who takes away pain is adding value. An accountant who saves a client money on taxes is adding value. A salesperson who introduces a new product or service to a customer is adding value. Most fortunes in the United States begin with the sale of personal services. Now, all financial success, especially business success, is based on the old adage, find a need and fill it. The subjective theory of value says that all value is in the eye of the beholder. Something is worth only what someone else will pay for it. People decide what price they will pay based on their feeling of need for the product or service and the alternatives available. Successful business and wealth creation is based on someone bringing together the factors of production, land, labor, capital, raw materials, and management, and creating a product or service that a customer will pay for at a price that is greater than the total cost of producing it. This is how the entrepreneur adds value to the combination of ingredients that go into creating a product or service. This difference between what it costs to produce and deliver and the price a customer is willing to pay for it is called profit or added value. Profit is the stuff out of which fortunes are made. Whenever you see an opportunity to give people what they want at a price greater than it costs you to produce it, you see an opportunity to make a profit. If you can create a way of making profits consistently, you can build a business and begin moving toward financial success. Almost any profitable business or occupation can make you financially independent if you manage it intelligently. Surprisingly enough, the businesses owned by self-made millionaires are usually quite ordinary. People become rich in construction and in sub-trades like drywalling and roofing. They become rich running dry cleaning establishments and cafes. Some of them are truck drivers and auctioneers, farmers and crane operators, computer software designers and machine tool manufacturers. Virtually any field that offers an opportunity to excel and earn profits can serve as a springboard to riches. The key is for you to do the work better and more efficiently than others, and then to hold on to the profits and excess cash that you earn as a result. People often ask me what field they should go into if they want to make a lot of money. The answer to this question is constantly changing, just as the wants, needs, demands, and desires of consumers are constantly changing. During the 1990s boom in technology and the explosion in the internet-based companies, millionaires were being created at the rate of 10,000 per week. When these stock option-fueled companies collapsed, most of this new wealth disappeared, only to reemerge in the booming home and real estate markets nationwide. No one knows for sure where the rapid growth opportunities of tomorrow will occur, but they will continue to rise and fall as long as customer wants continue to change, creating opportunities for ambitious, entrepreneurially minded people like you. One idea is all you need. Tom Fatjo, who built Browning Ferris Industries, is a famous success story. He started off as an accountant. Because no one else would haul the weekly trash for his family and his neighbors, he bought a truck and started hauling the trash himself after work. Soon, other unserviced neighborhoods and municipalities asked him if he would haul their trash as well. He became wealthy by standardizing the trash hauling industry locally and then nationwide, something that had never been done before. By introducing mass production methods and new efficiencies, he made trash hauling an extremely profitable business and became one of the richest entrepreneurs in the country. Colonel Harlan Sanders, starting at age 65, became wealthy selling a fried chicken recipe. Debbie Fields, with 4 children at home, started with a small shop and became wealthy selling cookies, as did Famous Amos. In each case, the entrepreneur took an existing need or desire and figured out a way to offer the product or service at high quality, combined with efficient operations that enabled the company to generate high profits. The logical question then comes up: what do wealthy people do or have that enables them to accomplish so much more than the average? Well, I believe that people become rich as a result of developing what I call leverage. Leverage is the key to maximizing and multiplying your potential for success and financial achievement. Now, here are 10 examples of leverage that you can develop and use to achieve financial independence. Number 1, the first type of leverage is knowledge. Specialized knowledge gives you leverage because it makes you worth more and makes your contribution more valuable. There are 3 ways to develop leverage through knowledge: become an expert, specialize in high-value activities, and know your product well. Resolve to become an expert in your chosen field. Make a decision today to join the top 10%. Set it as a goal, make a plan, and work on becoming better every single day. Specialize in high-value activities. Specialize in those areas that are of greatest importance and value to your company or to your customers. Apply the 80-20 rule, which says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your activities. Focus on the 20% of activities in your work that contribute the most value to yourself and other people. And know your product well inside out. Aim to be recognized as the industry expert in your field. Remember that the person who has expert knowledge can make a far more valuable contribution than the person whose knowledge is just average. The second form of leverage is skill. The better you are at your job, the more you will be paid. The top 20% of salespeople earn as much as 15 times the average earnings of the bottom 80%. The top doctors, mechanics, lawyers, technical specialists, and leaders in every field earn vastly more than the average performer. The keys to developing the leverage of skill are: be the best, never stop learning, and always exceed expectations. The third type of leverage you can develop is money. Money is a powerful source of leverage and usually follows naturally from the development of knowledge and skill in your field. You've heard the saying, it takes money to make money. The main reason that it takes money to make money is that your ability to save and accumulate funds is an essential step in the development of the personal qualities and character that you must possess if you sincerely want to achieve financial independence. There are 3 things you can do to develop the leverage of money. First, save regularly. Begin a systematic savings plan, putting away 10% of your gross income each month. This is the starting point of all riches. Second, get out of debt. Pay off your debt, starting with those carrying the highest interest rates, such as credit cards and finance companies. Set a goal to live largely debt-free, aside from your home mortgage and your car payments. And finally, build a reserve of cash so that you are ready when the opportunity arises. Most people stay broke all their lives because even if a wonderful money-making idea comes their way, they have no money to invest. The fourth form of leverage is contacts. Knowing the right people and being known by them can open doors for you that will save you years of hard work. The quality and quantity of your contacts and your relationships will have more to do with your success than perhaps any other factor. Knowing one person at the right time and place can change the course of your life. The fifth form of leverage is creativity. Remember, one new idea is all you need to start a fortune. Everyone has the ability to come up with creative ideas and solutions if they look for them. All great fortunes begin with an idea. The sixth form of leverage is good work habits. Good work habits give you an edge over others in your field. They help you stand out and bring you to the attention of people who can help you. The seventh form of leverage is a positive mental attitude. Every study of successful people shows that the more people there are who like you, the more doors they will open for you, and the more opportunities you will have to get ahead. If they like you, people will do everything possible to help you succeed. Your ability to get along with others, to communicate effectively, to be a positive and cheerful person, will cause people to want to help you wherever you go. The eighth factor of leverage is called luck. Luck is the form of leverage that is part of every great success. Fortunately, luck is largely predictable and happens to people for specific reasons. In many respects, you actually create your own luck by the things you do or the things you fail to do. Remember, luck is largely a matter of probabilities. There is a probability that virtually anything can happen, and these probabilities can be calculated with considerable accuracy. In almost every case, you can increase the likelihood of something happening for you. One thing we know, for example, is that luck is a function of activity. The more things you try and the faster you try them, the more likely it is that you will try the right things at the right time that will bring you the success you desire. The ninth form of leverage is personal power. Successful people have higher energy levels than the average. Because of this, they can work longer, harder hours with greater enthusiasm and persistence. They're more resilient and can bounce back from the inevitable problems and difficulties that occur on the road to success. It's therefore essential for great success that you organize your lifestyle around proper diet, proper exercise, and proper rest. For example, one common habit of virtually all successful people is that they watch very little television and they go to bed early. Early to bed, early to rise does seem to make people healthy, wealthy, and wise. The 10th form of leverage you can develop on your quest for riches is the correct choice of occupation. Choosing the right job is perhaps the most important form of leverage. The one common denominator of most successful wealthy people, aside from self-discipline, is that they do what they love to do. The most important decision you ever make in your career is choosing the right kind of job for you. It's possible to work hard, overcome obstacles, and persist through to success only when you're working at something that you care about, something that interests you and absorbs you completely. In fact, if you don't love your job enough to want to be the very best at it, you should find something else that you can become passionate about. If you stay at a job that doesn't excite you, you're in danger of wasting your time and your life. So to wrap up this lesson, if you sincerely desire to be rich, there's nothing outside of you that can stop you. Every type of person with every imaginable handicap, limitation, and obstacle has found a way to overcome their difficulties and go on to great success. No matter how many obstacles you face, someone else has faced 10 times as many and been successful in spite of it. If you sincerely desire to be rich, there is no miracle to it. Becoming wealthy requires a goal, a plan, self-discipline, and hard work for a long, long time. These are all qualities that you can learn and develop. If you're willing to pay the price of success in advance and keep on paying it over and over until you achieve your goals, you will surely succeed. The only real question you have to answer is, how badly do you want it? Now, here are 2 action exercises for you based on what we just talked about. First, make a decision today that you are going to achieve financial independence in the years ahead. Determine a specific financial goal, set a deadline, make a plan, and take action on it today. Second, project forward 10 to 20 years and begin imagining your perfect life. What would it look like? What steps could you take immediately to begin making it a reality? End of lesson, end of session, end of our first part.
This audiobook is continued on Disc 2.